Hi, I'm Dave Hostetter, curator of the planetarium at the Lafayette Science Museum in Lafayette, Louisiana. Welcome to Acadiana Skies. There are some interesting things for us to see over in the western sky this week. It's Monday, March 30th. Let's take a look at the western sky. This is right after dark, around 8:45 or so, and you notice that over there in the western sky we've got the moon up there, kind of a waxing crescent moon, and that'll be changing its position and changing its phase every night as it always does. But the real star of the show this week is the planet Venus. Very bright, very easy to see, by far the brightest thing in the sky that looks like a star. Now, for what I want to show you this week, it's going to be best if you can look with a pair of binoculars. So let's put on a circle here that is a binocular indicator, and that's approximately what the view would be like of Venus in a pair of binoculars. Now, all binoculars are a little bit different. Some show a little bit bigger part of the sky, some show a little bit lesser part. So you'll just have to kind of play that by ear, but this is an approximation of what you could see. Let's zoom in on that a little bit, and if you happen to have a telescope, which is fine instead of binoculars, you'll notice that Venus has a phase. It's kind of a half Venus right now, approaching crescent Venus. You'll see that over the next few weeks too. But what I really want you to notice is that we've got a little star cluster here, the Pleiades star cluster, sometimes called the Seven Sisters. You can imagine that if you lifted your binoculars so that Venus were in the lower part of the view, the Pleiades would be in the top part of the view. It's kind of a pretty thing to be able to see with them side by side. But Venus, like the other planets, moves against the background of stars as it and Earth go around the sun. So as this week goes by, watch what happens. Venus will seem to approach the Pleiades. And by the time we get to April 3rd, it will seem to be in the Pleiades itself. Now, it'll be a lot brighter than any of those stars, but this is going to be a really cool thing to see in a pair of binoculars. Remember, of course, that Venus is much, much closer to us than the Pleiades are. Venus is about 5.5 light minutes away, about 61 million miles, and that's for this week. That means that light reflects off Venus and takes about 5.5 minutes to get to Earth. But the stars of the Pleiades are about 440 light years away, so we are seeing them as they were about 440 years ago. That's how long it takes the light from those stars to get to us. So Venus, at 5.5 light minutes away, is very much a foreground object, but it's going to look like it's in the Pleiades, but it's just a foreground object. As the week finishes up, Venus will seem to move away from the Pleiades. Now, this is not an extremely rare event. It happens typically about every 8 years or so. But on the other hand, it's also not something that you see every day. So this is definitely worth going out to take a look at. And what we're going to do is to back up to March 30th, where we started with the Pleiades just a little bit above Venus. And I hope that you will go out and take a look around and see that. And of course, you're going to want to keep your social distance and all that type of stuff. Show it to your friends and family, because this is going to be something that a lot of people are going to enjoy looking at. You can see it with the unaided eye. It's going to be best in binoculars. You can look at it in a telescope too, but if you got a pair of binoculars, you're all set. I want to thank you for being here. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you enjoy the view over to the west this week. Thanks for being here.